picture awaits to my wife I bid farewell as she waved from our gate. With the voyage at sea destiny I have date for 8 pieces of silver. I boarded my fate. 2 years of provisions from sauerkraut to nails, 9-ton hogsheads of rum and cask full of ale. We made ship-shape the rigging from crow's nest to keel, and with the weather eye open, Captain Cook set sail. Hang on to the winds and head out to sea. Beyond the horizon, the ends of the earth beckon we. In 3 years of discovering new lands for the crown, 200,000 leagues of boat tape sailed around. On a mission for the mythical southern continent bound. Well, we searched the world over and it could not be found. Like a turn in the year 1773, 194 men sailed into history. Crossed the Antarctic Circle, first ever we'd be. Unknown, uncharted waters, first known, ever seen. Hang on for your life.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, Matt.
Okay. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Flat Earth Podcast. I'm your co-host for now, Matt Long, and usually with me is Dave from Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, but as you guys have probably noticed, we've had some a little bit of a tough time scheduling shows just with both of our summer schedules going on. It's no longer hoodie season, and it's just tough to nail both of us down. So Dave has agreed to allow an individual who you guys may know, his name is Baller Dave, to come on the show. And we thought what we'd do, we got a bunch of speak pipes. We thought we'd just roll all the way through them, and this will just be a speak pipe episode. But instead of DITRH with me, fortunately or unfortunately, I've got Baller Dave with me. So Baller Dave, why don't you say hey?
Hey, you got to keep it fair and balanced, right?
Well, that's one of the reasons we brought you on. We don't want people to think that the Flat Earth Podcast is a pro Flat Earth show, even though it's named that way. We do want it to be fair and balanced, and so we've brought individuals like M. Craig Fitzgerald,
good
on
buddy
here.
of mine.
Yeah, good buddy of yours. I know.
Hey, question. I got a question
yes.
for you, Matt. Before we start,
Yes.
you mind if I ask you a question? You seem like an intelligent character, good looking. You got a hot wife. You got a compound going, a big family thing going up there. You seem like you're smart. What do you really, honestly, believe the Earth is flat?
Dave, yes, 100%. I believe the Earth is flat.
All right.
And it's. Yeah, that's it. And if that's any sign of how this show is about to go, I'm excited.
Is this a Bible thing?
For some people it is, but I think in general it's a truth thing, which I believe the Bible contains a lot of. And so, I think.
Have you ever met any of the authors of the Bible?
I have not.
Okay, so you're just believing the words of men that you've never met.
Well, if you're talking about the men that have penned the Bible, no, I've not personally met them, but I do feel as though I've personally met the author,
All right,
I guess.
So what are we doing here? We're going through your voicemails?
Yeah, basically we've got these things called speak pipes, allows the listeners to send in a recording either with questions or comments, and we just respond to them. Are you prepared to do that?
I am. I have the list that you gave me, and I have to play them. Why can't you play them? Why do I have to play them?
Well, because you have access to them. Dave has been gracious enough. I don't know why he trusts you, but he does. And I think
I'm actually hoping his hot girlfriend / wife shows up while I'm here. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Anything else before we get started, or should I just start playing them and we can knock these things out of the park?
I think we should just knock him out, though the disdain in your voice is giving me a little bit of heartburn right now.
I'll try to be more pleasant, but I just can't believe I'm wasting my evening here addressing what has been known for 500 years, probably longer, that we live on a spinning ball. But here we go. This world is crazy. It's got enough problems. You got people that believe that 9/11 is a hoax. You got people that believe these shootings aren't real, where, real people died. And now I thought it couldn't get any worse. And now this flat earth thing is just insane. All right, here's the first one.
Yeah, we wouldn't want you to have to do any thinking. That's for sure. For yourself.
All right, I'm going to hit the play button. Let's see what happens. All right, beautiful. Thanks, Khan. Nothing there. Next one.
Sounds like a ball game.
Yeah, next one is from D.
Hi, this is Dee from Winnipeg. Okay, you know how there are so many people, more and more people, who don't believe that the Earth is a spinning ball, but they wouldn't necessarily call themselves flat earthers, because that word flat has quite a, negative connotation, kind of. And also, like, they don't know what it's like. Like, it's like, we don't know what this reality is. So I'm thinking the name should be changed. We should just drop the word flat and call it earthers, because the spinning ball is space, and we believe in Earth. Anyway, love you guys all so much. Bye.
It started out, I was like, all right, this is good. She realizes that it's nonsense, but then I was wrong with where she was going with that.
Yeah, no, I think she's right on track. If the Earth is actually flat, like we believe, then we are Earthers, just like she says. And you'd have to denote yourself as a ball Earther if you want to believe in something besides reality. So yeah, totally down with that, D.
Well, there was no proof there. She's just trying to come up with a name for a nonsensical topic. And I'm going to move to the next one, because there was absolutely nothing that would sway my understanding that we live on a spinning ball. Okay.
Yeah, great. I don't know if that's the purpose of speak pipes, but okay, yeah, sure.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, just so you know, if there's more than one, we have to delete the second one. We've got a one speak pipe rule, and sometimes we allow singing, sometimes we don't. It just depends.
Singing.
Yeah, singing. Sometimes people sing to Dave.
What did I get myself into? The next one is from Bobby. Bobby the moron.
Hey, have any of you guys seen the videos on YouTube? Richie from Boston has a few videos where he shows two suns in the sky. And apparently he's got a couple more where he shows they're building a huge sun out of, it's filled with these crazy bulbs. Anyway, there's a girl, I forget where she lives. She's got... this is nothing about the flat earth, but it shows two suns in the sky. He's got videos, this girl shot of two suns. So check that out.
All right. I'll just start out with lens flare, and he's an idiot.
I thought you were going to pull out weather balloon. That's the classic. That's the classic denial right there. No, I think I've seen some stuff on sun simulators. I've seen some stuff on the dual sun. I'm not fully convinced myself, though. The topic is extremely interesting. Yeah.
You know what? I'll even say that it is interesting that maybe they're trying to put a light in the sky, but they're trying to do that on a spinning ball. Next one is from Steve. Let's see if Steve has something intelligent to say.
Okay. Now, this is Steve from Australia. And no, I'm not Michelle, Mitchell, or anybody else. Just to clear that up. Can you hurry up and get another podcast up? I am up to date with every Flat Earth podcast, basically, out there in podcasting. And I've watched so many videos. I want to hear another podcast from the Flat Earth podcast. This is getting ridiculous. We're lucky to get one once every 2 to 3 months now. Hurry up! Hurry up! Anyway, on a serious note, you guys rock. Matt, been listening to Woketown. Hopefully you get another episode of that out soon. I understand that Jess is pregnant and all that, but yeah, really enjoying Woketown. Enjoying listening to Dave Stalker over at Dome Life. Robin and Roxanne's podcast, that's sick. You know, there's quite a few good podcasts out there, but you guys really need to step up the game and at least release one once a month. Come on, in all seriousness, it doesn't take that long to get around, you know, the plane to Australia to release one. So don't act like you've released one that just hasn't got to Australia yet because we're on the other side of the plane. Get a podcast out, please, and hurry up about it. Otherwise, it's going to be 2020 before you release one. Peace!
I would say once to every 2 or 3 months is more than enough. And if this is the best proof you have, I don't even think I need to comment.
I mean, I think it's great proof that people are wanting more and more of what they deem as truth. You know, Dave and I have received a bunch of people trying to tell us, you know, hey, we need another podcast, and guys, we like doing these podcasts, but it's a matter of time. I think one of the ideas I had was maybe we put out a GoFundMe, and then as soon as it gets to, you know, maybe $10,000, we'll do a podcast, and then fund it again, $10,000, do another podcast. It's something I want to talk to Dave about.
So you guys are in it for the money. Next one's from Art.
All right, I'm going to try this again. So I'm trying to get on Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and the interweb won't let me get into there. So I don't know if it's your webpage or what. I personally think it's the Google. I think you've pissed them off. I think you guys are poking the bear, if you will. But it's good. Everything you guys are doing is good. We appreciate it. I'm a 50-50 flat earther right now. But momentum has got me going in the flat direction. Anyway, trying to get on your website, but the mighty Google won't let me. I can order a pizza in 2 seconds, but getting on your website, they won't let me. Censorship has already begun. I try to look up the flat earth stuff on Google and YouTube, and it always gets me to the debunked stuff, which I don't think it's debunked. I think you guys are onto something. Anyway, Art reporting in from Washington, and I'm going to be spreading the news. I've already got my family members looking at me cross-eyed, but I'm going to get them believing here real soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, nice. So Art, one of our correspondents from Washington, as you heard, phoned in talking about pizza. That's what we think the shape of this place is. You know, like a pizza, and the crust is Antarctica, dome over the top. So another good call. What do you think, Dave?
You sure you want to admit that? The way I looked at it, I did a little research, and he was talking about the Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, which is a old defunct conspiracy nonsense podcast.
It was a terrible podcast.
Terrible.
Right.
Absolutely terrible. So we're in agreement on that. He said he's 50-50 flat and globe, leaning towards becoming flat. So I will call him a halfwit on his way to be a nitwit.
Nice. So at least 50% of his brain is now working because he's actually thinking for himself. Nice.
That's how you want to play it. All right, next one is from Danny.
That's more than 12% like you're using.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Dan. I'm from Massachusetts. Huge fan. I wanted to talk a little bit about clouds. Lately, I've been noticing that clouds absolutely are not as high as they used to be. And I'm not talking about just chemtrails. I'm talking about all clouds. We were in West Virginia, and the entire week the clouds were right on top of us. And I'm back in Massachusetts now. I'm looking up. Some of these clouds look like they're no more than 3,000 feet high. I was wondering if anybody else has noticed the same thing. I noticed it the entire drive home too from West Virginia. The clouds were just on top of us, nice and really low. It's crazy. All right, just seeing if anybody else has been seeing the same thing.
Yeah, I'd say I feel like after listening to that I've kind of noticed that, but it could just be my mind playing tricks on me. Though I think with all the chemtrail activity, with all the rain in most places in the U.S., you could notice some lower clouds. But interesting. I'll definitely keep my eye out. You?
Higher clouds, lower clouds could happen.
You probably don't look up much. Right? So
I look up plenty. Don't tell me what I do or don't do.
You look up words in the dictionary because you don't know what they mean.
The clouds could be at different levels. There are different cloud decks, different atmospheric density. It happens all the time. Doesn't mean the Earth is flat. And then his thing about chemtrails, utter nonsense, already has been debunked. So I don't trust anything he's saying.
You need to look up Operation Solar Shield.
Yeah, I'll do that. Next one is from Randy.
Hi, David. My name is Randy. The flat Earth non-rotating model is very compelling. However, I have some questions about the Antarctic Rim. I'm looking at your Clock Map app. Are all the nations directing people to the same point, quote, South Pole, or are they directing them to different, quote, South Poles? If one, where is the location of that pole on your map? For example, 12 noon, 30-second mark. My second question is, if the U.S. can't patrol what appears to be about the length of 1 second on your map, then how come the world can parole the vast perimeter of the Antarctic Rim? If people coming into our country can find points to cross our border, how come explorers can't find points to explore the Arctic Rim and what is beyond?
Matt, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. I think, I'll start with the last part first. I don't know that they necessarily need to patrol the entire thing just with 200 miles of rough ocean terrain between here and there from the lowest point. So I just think it's probably one of the most dangerous places to sail in the entire world. So that's part of a little protection of itself.
Have you ever been there?
I have not been there. No. I think that's speculation on my part, but I think the ceremonial South Pole is, I think, one place where everybody celebrates it by taking their clothes off, running around it, and all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure the actual South Pole changes location, they say, every year, and where that is on our sponsors app, I'm not sure exactly. That's a good question. I'd like to look that up and see.
So you're saying in Flattardia there's multiple South Poles that move on a daily basis? Is that what I'm hearing?
There's one South Pole, and what your camp would say is that South Pole changes location every year by a number of feet or meters or whatever.
The magnetic South Pole.
Correct.
Yeah. So on your Flattard map, where is the South Pole? That's what he was asking.
Well, I think he was asking where your South Pole is on our map. We don't necessarily have a South Pole that goes on our map.
Very convincing. Next one is from Jonah.
How do the stars rotate on flat Earth in different directions in Australia from the North Pole?
Yeah, good question. I think I'll have Dave insert a video into the description because that's kind of tough to explain just over audio. But if you picture yourself on the equator and the stars, no matter where you are, north hemiplane or southern hemiplane, are rotating from east to west. And because of perspective, you're going to see on either side of you, let's say you're standing on the equator and you're looking west and you're seeing the stars rotate above you, coming from behind you and then setting in the west, you're going to see them going away from you towards the outer parts of your horizon, creating what seems to be different rotation to your right and a different rotation to your left, when actually they're just simply rotating from east to west. And it's perspective that creates those cycles on either side. So Dave will put a video in the description. Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
You ever hear
Baller, Dave.
You ever hear of Occam's razor?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So somebody in the South, their feet are opposite our feet. And so when they're looking, they're upside down and the stars go in the other direction. It's very simple.
I look forward. Occam's razor.
I did. Occam's razor is that we're on a spinning ball, and you don't have to make up any perspective and spinning and turning, explanations. It's gravity pulls us to the center point. And
I think you're coming up with some pretty complex stuff. I think the simplicity of perspective is just explaining how your eyeballs work, but
that's how you would think.
Yeah. I know you think simply. Yes.
Are you insulting
Simple
me?
Thoughts. Am I?
I don't know. Next one is from Rugged Ronnie. That's a nice name.
Hey guys, this is Rugged Ronnie. Been listening to your show probably about 40 days or so, 45 days now, and I've listened to every single episode. This is a fascinating subject for me. My question is jet stream. Like, what's that look like on a flat Earth model? Thanks, and keep up the great work.
Well, I don't know much about jet stream, so if it's, I have no idea.
I've seen it on your flat Earth model, and it makes perfect circles. Now, what makes perfect circles? Nothing. Right?
Interesting.
Makes no sense.
Do you think that maybe that would lean you towards the flat instead of the ball?
No, we all know, we were taught in school, it's been known for years, the jet stream swoops down below America, shoots up the East Coast, over Greenland, comes back down, scoops around Africa, and continues on its snaking path up and down around the spinning globe. Makes perfect sense.
Yet when you look at it on the flat, it makes perfect circles.
Yeah. That doesn't make it, that makes
other.
no sense to me. That makes no sense.
It's not simpler.
No.
Okay.
Next one has no name. Let's see who this is.
So it's Harvey again. I finished my message. So so the circumference of the flat Earth at the 50 south latitude must be around 30,000 kilometers. So you have to put all the continents inside a cycle of 30,000 kilometers. My thought about that, it's all the continent should be more flattened and wider east-west. Also, the ocean should be smaller to fit in the circumference. Maybe it's for this reason that the unit of distance is not the same on the shore than on the ocean. Again, to deceive us. Also, they say very often that the globe is so huge, but usually they say the opposite of the truth. So I think it's a small flat Earth. One thing is sure is that the Vendée Globe boat did the cycle of the flat Earth in 40 days for the first boat in the race. So for a new flat Earth map, you have to start with this data. So thank you very much, guys. Keep up the good work. I will have a lot of things to do about this topic.
Yeah, great call. I think it sounds like he has some passion about it. Maybe he should put together some thoughts and maybe some sketches and send them to us. I'd love to see them.
So is he saying that the circumference of the Earth at that latitude with the continents doesn't fit the way they show us?
I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying that at that certain latitude, it needed to be like 30,000 kilometers. I wasn't 100% following, but I did really hear his passion come across for the topic. And I think we do need to question the map that we have because it doesn't even work anyways. You know, the proportions are all off. You probably know about that. Yeah, I think sounds really interesting.
Okay. Before we go to the next one, which is from a Daryl, how's Flat Earth doing right now compared to the Ball Earth in this so far? What would you say, honestly?
As in the number of callers or what?
No, just like how's your... I haven't seen any proof of the Flat Earth. Have you?
Just people calling in who believe the Earth is flat, I guess.
All right, I believe in Bigfoot. I don't, but...
That's weird.
I don't believe in Bigfoot.
You don't?
No, of course not.
Why not?
All right, Matt. See, do you believe in Bigfoot? Do you believe we went to the moon?
No.
You don't believe we went to the moon?
No. You're like every other baller. You have this concept that we're talking about a flat pancake flying through space in the middle of the solar system. We're not. We're talking about a world, an enclosed world where all the sun, moon, and stars are inside this dome. It's all here.
Just a little while ago say the Earth was a pizza, not a pancake?
Yeah.
So it's a pizza floating in space.
Well, I assumed you didn't listen to a word I said because you're Baller Dave. So just thought I'd give you a different illustration if that's okay.
All right, here we go with Daryl.
Hey, this is Darrell from Virginia. I found out about the flat earth a couple years ago on my own from watching videos on YouTube. But even before I knew about that, I used to read the Bible talking about the firmament, and I always thought that was really weird, and it never made any sense until I found out about the earth being flat. And one of the experiments I've seen on YouTube that I really liked was the D Marble one, that while he was live streaming from Seattle with two other guys, one in Australia and the other in London, they could all see the moon at the same time. And I always thought that was really cool, and maybe if a lot more people did that on at the same time, it would really get people's attention. And also, I wanted to ask if you ever remember a TV show about this guy who used to dig up meteorites all the time and he sold them for a huge amount of money. Do you think that guy was running a scam, or maybe they could actually be pieces of the firmament or something like that? Thanks. Bye.
That one was interesting. He gets all his information from YouTube. Genius. He believes in the Bible, which is a belief system. D Marble did a live stream with three other guys that was completely works perfectly on a globe Earth, and the TV show the
You
guys
think that works perfectly on a globe Earth?
it's already been debunked, and the
Meteorite Man.
the TV show where the guy's digging up meteorites and he thinks that they're parts of a firmament. No, they're meteorites. That's why it's the meteorite guy, not the firmament guy.
Yeah, well, I used to love that show, Meteorite Man.
Yeah, they were finding meteors. How does that work on your flat Earth?
Yeah, well, like he said, maybe it's parts of the firmament.
Or meteorites, Occam's razor.
How many meteorites have we gone and landed on and cut open and proved that they were the exact same material as what is falling from the sky?
I don't know. How many?
I'd say zero.
Well, I mean,
we were looking for moon rocks in Antarctica before we went to the moon, before the Apollo missions. The moon rocks that were donated to the museum in Amsterdam were tested so they could be insured by an insurance company, and they were found to be petrified wood. What do you think about that?
I think that there's some trickery going on there. Maybe somebody stole the real rock and replaced it with a piece of petrified wood. Do you have the trail of evidence, the custody of evidence along the way? Or is there any time that somebody could have replaced that rock? Was there an opportunity for somebody to replace that rock somewhere along the last 50 years?
It's possible.
Okay, thank you. Next one is from Matt. I hope this isn't you, because I can only take so much.
Hey guys, it's Matt from Florida. I've listened to every episode for the last, year and a half, 2 years, how long you've been on here. I've heard them all. And some of the first ones I listened to multiple times because I thought they were so good. But I just want to share with the listeners something that I had witnessed recently. So I fly from Tampa to Beijing, China, Tampa, Florida. So when I fly across, going east to west from Tampa, Florida to Los Angeles, it's roughly the same latitude, so I'm flying straight across. Now, when I'm going from Los Angeles to Beijing, China, which Beijing is just a little bit higher latitude on the globe, we go from Los Angeles going up north, up the coast of California, then we go past the tip of Alaska, and then we start going down on a globe, the peninsula of Kamchatsky of Russia, and then to Korea, and then to Beijing. We did not go straight across the ocean, which you'd think, staying at the same latitude, just going across there. I don't know if the miles are that close, or if it's actually a little bit fewer miles to go north. But if you look at the AE map, it's literally, we just took a direct straight line. There is no big arc going, from south to north and back down south to Beijing.
Yeah, so Dave, what do you think about that?
First,
or was it over your head?
No, stop insulting me, all right? Because I'm listening. This guy has been listening for a year and a half. I'm surprised he's able to speak. His brain should be mush after listening to that much, all right? It goes from Tampa to California. Okay, makes perfect sense. And then you ever hear of the Great Northern Route, the Northern Shortcut? Like if you have a beach ball and you put the valve at the top and you're over on the side, you can go around or you can go up and over and get to the same spot. I'd like to see him map that out on a globe and show me that it doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Is that all you have to say on that one?
That's it. I'm getting kind of tired of you. Don't feel like you're listening.
I will. How about this? I'll do better. All right.
Okay.
Next one's from Annie.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Anne Marie. I love listening to you. Anyway, I was listening to one of your interviews, and you spoke about the reset, and everything is a lie. And I know you believe in God. So my question to you is the Bible then a lie? Is it one just big fairy tale? That's my question. Thank you.
Dave?
Yes?
What do you think?
Well, you know my opinion on the Bible, and what reset is she talking about?
I don't know. Is she talking about the MCO?
I hear that a lot of people talk about a mud flood reset every 150, 250 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen any compelling proof for that. If somebody wants to send some my way, be glad to look at it.
Well, you're probably an evolution guy, right? Like you're like millions of years and
yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
That's
what do you think?
I
Somebody waved the fairy wand and poof, there you are.
You said you were a smart guy, and so I'm surprised that you believe in evolution and millions of years, but like with no transitional species and
just because you haven't seen something, haven't found something, doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Got it. Okay, kind of like the ball. Got it. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Next one is from Joe. Do you have anything you want to say to Anne Marie on that one? You're the Bible guy, right? Is the Bible? She asked if the Bible is a lie. Is that what she asked?
Yeah. So
see, I was listening.
If you were to ask someone who doesn't believe in truth, you say, "Does truth is there absolute truth?" And they would say no, and then you'd say, "Well, is that statement true?" And then their heads explode. So there has to be truth from somewhere. I do believe, based on not just my spiritual experience with the Bible, but also the historical accuracy and evidence for the Bible, that yes, it's 100% true.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
Next one is from Joe.
Hey guys, really appreciate the work you do. It's all very fascinating. One thing that gets me is the talk about why they lie. Why does NASA, why does the government lie about the shape of the Earth? And the answers always seem to be about the same and pretty weak. This idea that, they're hiding God or whatever. Like, nobody ever seems to have a reason for why they would hide God. But I have a better theory, and that is, isn't it possible that they just simply don't know? Like, nobody's been to so-called space. Nobody's got a picture of the Earth. No one's ever seen the Earth from thousands of miles away. Isn't it more likely, in fact, that they just simply don't know? I'd love for you to talk about that. Thanks.
Nobody's been to space?
Yeah, well, I think, technically space is the Kármán line, so 100 kilometers or 62 miles above the surface. But in our model, we believe that the firmament or the dome is the limit that we can reach, and that this notion of outer space and planets and galaxies and things like that, they're lights in the sky. They're not actually places we can get on a rocket ship and go land on.
What about the Apollo missions? Did they go through a hatch door or something to get to the moon?
No, they didn't go to the moon. It was fake.
Like 400,000 people faked it, and nobody has spoken up.
President Nixon talked to him on a landline. I'm not sure how that works.
Hello, they had a satellite dish, and they had a direct line, no trees, thinning atmosphere, empty space, nothing to interfere with it. No firmament to interfere with it.
While Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour and the moon is rotating around the Earth.
It's spinning 1,000 miles per hour, but in perspective, it's moving very slowly. I mean, if you look at the moon crossing the sky, and that's because of the spin of the Earth, and you can barely tell that it's moving. So that satellite
How did
dish
they get through the Van Allen radiation belts?
very quickly.
Okay.
They're not as strong as they thought they were, and they must have gone through a thin spot, and who knows?
Okay. But yeah, to answer his question, I don't personally think that those answers are weak. But the question or the possibility that they just don't know, I think it's far-fetched, but maybe.
Matt, if you believe in a creator God, correct?
Yes.
Who created this incredible world that you live in, this flat world?
Yep.
What does he call it? Flat world? Earth?
Earth.
Earth. And if you had such an amazing, magnificent creator, do you think that a mere man could hide him and he would allow that?
No.
Okay, so
No,
it's a weak excuse. Hiding God
No.
is an impossibility if there was a God.
Well, yes, I think it would be impossible for man to hide God. However, I think it is possible for man to create a confusion with the creation because, according to Romans, we can get to know God through the study and appreciation of his creation, including his eternal power by the things that were made. And if you're being lied to about what the things are that were made, then it's going to be harder for you to get to know God, though I believe God can still make himself known.
How many churches are in the United States alone?
No idea.
Take a guess. 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000?
100,000.
Let's say 100,000. Out of that 100,000, how many of them are teaching flat Earth?
I think like 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't that tell you something? The overwhelming majority of the teachers, the preachers, are teaching what is painstakingly and scientifically proven obvious. Next one is from Dan.
Hey guys, I know you hate multiple speak pipes, but I was just also wondering if Mercury can be seen to transit the sun, could that possibly have something to do with eclipses then? All right. Talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
I'll go first, and then you can go if you have anything to say on this. Mercury essentially is eclipsing the sun, but it's just small. It doesn't happen to line up like the moon does. The moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, but it's also 400 times closer. So Mercury is small, it's far away, and it goes in front of the sun, just like we see it.
It's a coincidence that the moon is 400 times closer and smaller, so it looks the exact same size in the sky.
It's gotta be somewhere. Why not there?
Yeah, I guess. I was just thinking like Occam's razor, like simplest explanation, but that's cool.
I mean, in this infinite universe, anything is possible because there's so many chances for it to happen.
I suppose that it is.
All right, next one is from Ryan. We're going backwards, so anyone that did multiple speak pipes, we're getting their second speak pipe.
Hey, Dave and Matt, this is Ryan from Oklahoma. Hey, love the podcast. You guys are doing a great job. Definitely probably my 2 favorite flat earthers out there. Been listening to the podcast for over a year now. Love the work, guys. Keep it up. One thing I wanted to talk about or ask is one thing that I have ran into with my journey through flat Earth is the biggest question I get and that I struggle with is the why. Why the big cover up? And the thing that I've concluded in my mind and in my heart, especially, is I think it's a deception. Matt, you might agree with me on this one, but it's a deception from the enemy. It's gone beyond a conspiracy of people keeping secrets. It's gone to a point where the enemy living and breathing on earth, Satan himself, has kept us in a darkness of lies. Anyways, like to know your thoughts, Matt especially. Dave, love you. Keep up the good work, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, so he's talking a little bit about what we talked about, on the last deal. But I just invite anyone, whether you're a Bible believer or not, just read Romans 1, because not only does it talk about getting to know God through the things that were made, but that there will be people holding back the truth and unrighteousness, just like we're seeing with the flat Earth.
So this is the problem I'm having with you flattards, is that he said he was thinking about it. He concluded. So because he concluded, that means it's factual in his mind, which is his imagination, and his heart. He's probably gay. Why don't we take a break so I can go pull my hair out, look more like Dave, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up these speak pipes.
I think we even call Dave and get him to come back. Is kind of what I'm thinking. I just don't know if we want you as a flat earther. Is what I'm thinking.
I am not a flat earther.
I know, but what I'm saying is I don't think we would even want you on our side if you became one.
Why would I ever become a flat earther? You haven't come up with one proof. There are none. There's millions that the earth is a sphere.
We're doing speak pipes. I don't know that we're necessarily coming up with proofs.
Okay. Let's take a break. We'll be back shortly with more.
I may or may not be back.
Oh, then I'll do it without you.
Okay.
Following announcement has been paid for by
The Flat Earth Podcast. You want to leave a digital voicemail for us? Head over to theflatearthpodcast.com and click on the blue link that reads, "Got a question? Send us a message."
You can do it from your iPhone or from your computer. First time you do it on your cellular phone, you'll have to download a little app. But after that, you can leave us all kinds of messages. If you want to be anonymous, you can make up a name, make up an email address. We don't care. We just want to hear what you have to say.
We'll do our best to play or answer these questions and comments on future episodes right here on the Flat Earth Podcast. Download the SpeakPipe app and check us out at theflatearthpodcast.com. The Flat Earth Podcast. If you're watching this audio on YouTube right now and you're not familiar with the world of podcasting, there's a far better way to listen to the Flat Earth Podcast each and every week.
Think of it like your TiVo or your DVR is to your television. You subscribe to whatever show that you like. Whenever a new episode comes out, it records it, downloads it, and notifies you that there's a new episode for easy listening anywhere. Another great feature on most podcast players is you could speed up if you want to hear stuff even faster, or more importantly, it has a jump back and jump forward 30 seconds so you could skip annoying announcements like this.
We're on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and so many more. If we're not on your favorite podcast app, send us a message and let us know to make sure we will be. The Flat Earth Podcast.
My fellow citizens, I got some great news. Not fake news. This is great news. It gives me great pleasure to introduce and endorse from the Flat Earth Podcast. I love these guys. A breakthrough for the geocentric world. I want everybody to have this. It's the new Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock. Right on your phone. That's where it goes. It's beautiful. I got it. Melania loves it. Ivanka, too, are crazy about it. You know, all that money was spent on NASA, and they couldn't come up with this. It shows me right where I am. I know where the moon is. The season's got everything. It's got the wall. Not that wall. The ice wall. You gotta get this. The Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock. I'm Donald Trump, and I approve of this app. Tremendous technology. So simple. Baron, make it work for me, will you? This kid's so clever. Kids are clever. But CNN's so stupid.
Yeah.
Hello, boys. Jiminy Glick here with my SpeakPipe Special Edition. Flat Earth, it's so hip right now, you know. It's like, forget the Golden Globes. Give me the pancakes. I always say that. And what about celebrities with Flat Earth? Who has been to space that we know? Armstrong, of course, and Buzz, but they're Freemasons. And we know we can't trust them, can we? And how about Harrison Ford? Han Solo. Don't you think we could send him up to the space station and he could look down and give us his global warming report? He gets so angry. Oh, that's right. There is no space station, is there? And when are you guys going to do an interview with Mark? Or is Mark Sargent persona non grata? He's got to be Flat Earth's biggest celebrity, don't you think so?
A little crazy and unhinged. And what's with all those funny hats? No one really understands him. Well, that's all, boys. Dixie's calling me, and I just hope the real Jiminy Glick doesn't sue.
Yeah.
And, listen, I have callers on hold every day who say we shouldn't vaccinate. And unlike most dumb conspiracies like Flat Earth, this one actually could kill us. Because these fucking people refuse to believe scientists. I don't care if you want to believe in the Flat Earth. You want to walk around like a moron, that's fine. You're not hurting me.
Yeah.
And me and DITRH Daves, the Flat Earth guy, we've been texting. We're doing the stream this week. He's an awesome guy. 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 So that's happening.
Yeah.
Are you one of the many that have been fooled by the modern rejuvenation of the Flat Earth movement, and now you just feel empty? Do you long to feel the spin of the earth like you used to? Introducing Red Hen, a refreshing new drink from the professionals at Flat Earth Brewing. Red Hen is a daring combination of Red Bull and Hennessy, inspired by courageous people like Felix Baumgartner and Auguste Piccard, who boldly traveled into the stratosphere by balloon. Never mind how those ignorant flat earthers point out that the horizon is flat from the non-fisheye lens inside the capsule, or that Piccard described the earth as flat with an upturned edge in Scientific American. This drink is designed to dismiss all the haters and send you back into your preferred state of consciousness. With 66.6% alcohol by volume, specifically designed by satanic Nazi magicians and carefully mixed by professional technicians, you'll be back to feeling like you're spinning 1,000 miles an hour in no time. Red Hen. Stay asleep, my friends. 66.6% alcohol by volume. Flat Earth Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Flat Earth Brewing reminds you to never drink and drive. That's redhen with 2Ns.com.
Yeah.
I love the Flat Earth podcast. You know that. It's so good. And now they tell me, you gotta listen to this one. They show me the picture. Looks like poop on the plane. I say, I don't want to poop on the plane. I don't want pee on the bed. That's not right. But now I understand. It's the Do Me Life podcast. And I like that. Like the Pound Me Too movement. Is this X-rated? Who knows? I'm Donald Trump, and I endorse Poop on the Plane's Do Me Life podcast. Take your shots, people. Measles shots, moon shots, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. We're going to continue through the speak pipes with Baller Dave. And so, Dave, you're in control. Why don't you go ahead and hit play? I've got a little bit. I refreshed my brain. I'm here, and I'm ready to deal with you a little more. So,
okay, I'm gonna try to be a little nicer to you because I understand there's just retarded people in the world, and I have to deal with it.
Yeah, and I guess kind of for the you haven't been really mean to me. You're just kind of condescending, I guess.
Matt,
with,
condescending
generalizations.
Come on, how old are you? You think the Earth is flat? Are you a child?
I think the Earth is flat because there is no curvature. Like
it's
if
big,
it was
man.
a ball,
it's not a little ball like a ball you kick around that you can see the curvature. It's really big. You can't see that far, and you can't.
I agree, but you can measure.
What do you got? You got a 24,000 mile tape measure? I'd like to see that.
I do not have a 24,000 mile tape measure.
So
what I'm saying is
you can go measure.
You can go measure curvature or the lack thereof over bodies of water on
Freudian
clear days.
Slip there. Freudian slip. You can measure curvature.
Oh,
Let's go with
me. I said lack thereof.
No,
okay.
I can.
Let's keep going. Keep going.
We'll rewind it and we'll see.
I'll rewind you.
Ahmed.
Hi guys, Dave. I have a question for you. Are you going to be at the Flat Earth Convention in Amsterdam end of September? Thanks a lot.
I don't believe that Dave is.
Smart guy.
Next.
Actually, I heard Dave might go. The next one is from Adam.
Hey, Dave, I just sent you a voice message about the
24-hour clock appearing as 24 hours in the left-hand side of the screen on my iPad. I completely forgot, but on my iPhone, I had the same app, and on my iPhone, it does show 24 hours when I change it to 24. So it looks like the coders actually did program the application to show that when you change it. Now, I'm not sure why the iPad doesn't change from AM, PM to 24 hours, but on my iPhone, it is 24 hours, and it does show, like, let's say 6 o'clock at night, it would show 18:00, 1800. So the iPhone, it shows it, the iPad doesn't. So I'm wondering if there's something in the iPad software, the iOS, that is not cooperating with the application. Anyway, just a thought. Talk to you later.
I actually know what he's talking about because I did look at that Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app that Dave made. What an amazing piece of work he did there, but what a waste. I mean, because it's about a nonsensical topic.
Yeah, but have you actually looked at it? Like, it's a piece of educational software. Like, it shows you how it works. You could see how that guy could fly from Los Angeles to Beijing and take a straight line on it. You could see how the sun and moon work. Did you take a look at that, or did you just dismiss it?
I will take a look at it again. But let me ask a question. Again, you have a beach ball. You got the knob at the top. And you put your finger on one side. You put a mark on the other side. How many different ways can you get there?
Probably infinite.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Was that Adam I said? Next one is from Dino.
How you doing, guys? My name is Dino. I've been listening to your podcast for a couple of weeks now. I've been on Flat Earther for probably about a year. And I was listening to the episode you guys were talking about whether if there was a force or not pulling us down to the earth. I kind of agree with the density theory, and things that are lighter than oxygen obviously float away from the earth, and things that are heavier fall towards the earth. And I think it was Dave who tried to use the example, and he asked the other participant. He was saying, if you're out in space and you have a ball and you release the ball, which way does the ball go? And I think it's kind of wrong, or I guess, for lack of a better word, to use space and the example of space as what we've been taught about space from today's scientists, because I don't believe there is a space, and you don't probably believe there is a space either. I believe that one thing I like about your podcast is that you guys always deal with the facts of what we could observe, observable facts. And we could observe that we stand on a land right now. And as far as we know, that land can go to the left forever, to the right forever, straight ahead forever. We don't know how far it goes. So all we know is that we're standing on land and things tend to fall down towards this land. If there is no space, you're using an example that has been taught to you also.
I think he got cut off there. Matt, let me ask you a question.
So this probably this call doesn't involve you very much. It's more just that guy telling me that I was right and Dave was wrong. So
about the downward force called gravity. Hello.
Yeah, gravity's never been proven.
Do you ever drop anything?
Sure, all the time.
All right, and then someone in Australia drops something. It goes from our position. It goes up, but
You've
towards
seen that?
the center of the earth.
We
can call up Michelle right now in Australia, and we could both drop something, and they'll both fall towards the center of the earth.
They'll both fall down. That's all we'll be able to know.
Matt, if I'm laying on the floor and you're standing above me, are my feet and your feet both down from ourselves?
What?
Oh, never mind. Next is I'm skipping a lot of repeats here. Cameron.
Hi, Flat Earth Podcast. This is Cameron. I would like to call and give some suggestions on how to juice up your podcasts. Some playful criticism. Dave, the atmospheric dome and apparent sun stuff, great. We get it. It's very complicated to explain without visuals and try and get us to understand to explain to people. It really, somebody wanders into a conversation and that's what you're talking about, they're not going to be having the seed planted of realizing if all the propaganda all around us. Where you have to start is give people the evidence themselves. Nobody wants a video that says Illuminati, NWO conspiracy, Jesus lives, flat Earth. Like you don't want to send your friends that video, no matter how much that video may have great content. Give people the source material and let them figure out for themselves the way we all had to. If you give people the source material of the Gemini 4 walk and they watch it and they have any sense of a brain, they're going to see the stop motion, they're going to see the swivel of the helmet that is inaccurate to how that space helmet works, and stuff like the old vintage videos of the spaceship that's a model that has people walking in the background, stuff like that. If people see where it all started, then they can build their mental process and see where it all went to and where it is right now.
Great call. What do you think about that?
Well, first he said that, we can't do this visual stuff, but then he wants us to show them videos of visual stuff. So, makes no sense to me.
What do you think about his point about the Gemini spacewalk?
Yeah, I watched it.
It's clearly stop motion animation.
Well, it's not clearly stop motion animation. They were using film back then. They're up there. There's lots of radiation, gamma rays.
Was it the film that allowed the astronauts' helmet to swivel, even though they didn't swivel?
How do you know they didn't swivel? Have you ever worn one of those outfits? How do you know they didn't have a one that swiveled and one that didn't swivel? Do you have any proof that one does? Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Right, just like the ball.
Next one is from Daniel.
Hey Dave, Daniel here from Colorado. I've got some pretty disturbing news to share with y'all. So Jeranism did a couple of mirror test proofs on the Salton Sea, and he's released 4 YouTube videos. 2 are just like him talking with about the mirages and the the inverse mirage or whatever. Anyways, those videos play just fine. They immediately load up and everything. But when you go to the other 2 videos that have the actual proof of the mirror test working, it takes forever to load, and then it never even loads. It just says unable to play. I've tried it on 4 devices. It's not his channel. This is a whole new level of fuckery from YouTube right here, man. I mean, this is how they're going to suppress everything. Come up with all the proof you want. If it don't play, nobody can see it. Look into this, man. That's all I'm saying. Keep up the good work. Have a great day.
Yeah, great one. I haven't heard that yet. I know that YouTube was censoring flat Earth content and promoting authoritative content, in quotes, as they say, from bigger channels that are not pro flat Earth. But I had not heard of just literally not being able to play a certain video. What do you think about the censorship, Dave?
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. Let's say at the local elementary school, you have a teacher in there that is teaching utter nonsense. Do you think that teacher is going to be removed from the school?
No, I think
they're teaching utter nonsense.
School.
Well, no, it's a public school, private school, whatever, and they're teaching the exact opposite of what the curriculum says. Will that teacher be removed from the school?
Yes.
The answer is obvious. Is that censorship? No. YouTube, unfortunately, kids don't really pay attention in school. In school, they're probably watching YouTube anyway. So kids are getting their education from YouTube, okay? That's like getting it from Nickelodeon. I don't know, whatever. But somebody has to take responsibility for what is fed to our children, because if we keep feeding them garbage, they're going to end up thinking the earth is flat and stationary and doesn't move and that all the stars spin around us.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a boat? I know Dave has a boat. Do you have a boat?
I do not have a boat.
Okay. Do you have a car?
I do.
Okay. If something went wrong on that car and you didn't have the ability to take it into a mechanic shop, where would you go to try to figure out how to fix it?
I would take it to a mechanic shop.
What if you couldn't?
What if I couldn't take it to a mechanic shop?
What if you had to fix it yourself? Where would you go? What would you do?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. I would just get a new car.
This is what we're dealing with. Okay, never mind.
Why the straw man? Why are we changing away from cars from flat Earth?
I just think like the logical thing to do is go search on YouTube how to fix car, whatever's wrong with it.
I listen. I want to do a shout out to the people high up in YouTube for realizing the important job that they have, because our children are getting their education from their silly platform. That they really need to put out some authoritative content to steer our children in the right direction. Next one is from Adam.
Hey, you guys! I love the show. Keep it up. I wanted to mention, if you've seen any of Flat Earth Paradise's videos, some of his recent videos and his past videos detail how we live in a giant toroidal field, which I found really interesting. A toroidal field, or a giant sine wave from the North Pole out. And when comparing that against the map of the square and stationary Earth by Professor Orlando Ferguson from Hot Springs, South Dakota, I see a lot of correlation. That's the kind of flat Earth donut kind of shape. And if we're in a giant toroidal field, then I'm wondering if it would make sense that with that kind of curve on that map being the base of the toroidal field, if that's the deal, then could we justify the shape of that flat Earth map, given that the base of the toroidal field, which is pretty much to the oceans and just the base of the flat Earth in that map, would it be down, regardless of the curve? Like, we wouldn't detect that curve on that flat Earth map because down is toward the base of the toroidal field. So, I don't know. Does that make sense? Let me know. Thanks.
Yeah, so I think what he's saying is, I think he's trying to correlate that to your down is down. When I say I mean Dave. Dave's down is down versus there being a force. I don't know much about Flat Earth Paradise or the toroidal field, so I don't know that I can comment much on it.
So Flat Earth Paradise is a guy that thinks that there's a utopia at the North Pole where everybody knows that if you go there, you'll freeze to death and die and have to eat your dogs. And he talked about a donut, a toroidal field, and a square Earth. I'm out.
I'm surprised you know who Flat Earth Paradise is.
I gotta keep track of what's going on out there because, my kids, they're going to be subject to this. I'm thinking of banning them from YouTube.
Yeah, you probably should.
Okay, next one is from Bo.
Since I'm so poor and I really need your sun and moon clock gap, I mean, I can convert hundreds of people with that one. I'm from northern Sweden and I really, really, really am into flat Earth. I mean, once you're flat, there's no going back. I hope you can send me a code so I can download it. My email is boggan@gmx.us. Well, that was about all I had to say right about now. I'll probably call back in the future and do a longer rant. But you guys make a hell of a good podcast. I haven't missed an episode.
That's my new favorite caller. New favorite.
This guy deserves to believe in the flat Earth. I will leave a note for Dave to send him a code for his silly app.
New favorite caller. Call back every time.
All right, that's it. If I'm assuming that if you've left the speak pipe before the recording of this on around July 25th or 4th, and it wasn't played, that it's gone. Matt, I'd like to say this was enjoyable. Is there any single proof that you would like to throw to me? Something that I can look into to see this Flatlandia of yours?
I mean, honestly, I don't really care if you personally become a flat earther, because I don't really see myself hanging out with you much, like beyond this point, really. So
you're into flat Earth just for friends. So only people that are going to hang out with you can learn about the flat Earth from you. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing I was in for was to find a wife. I found a wife, and so now I'm really kind of expanding my in-person, real-life friend pool, and Dave's part of that, and and you just, to me, don't sound very receptive to the notion. So
I'm wide open. I'm wide open to the truth. I just haven't seen any truth in flatardia.
I think you need to stop referring to it as flatardia, and I think you need to go out and do some experiments yourself and see where that leaves you.
What experiment do you suggest that I do?
I think you should go do some experiments over flat water.
Have you not read the Metabonk calculator that the curvature calculator doesn't work over water?
Okay, here's the thing, Dave. Like, you're going to have to start giving some emphasis to things that you try out yourself.
It's Baller Dave.
Okay, so just call you Baller.
Yeah, Baller's good. Thank you.
Okay. Just this has been fun.
Has it?
No.
Okay. Is this how we're going to end it?
I think so. I think that's it. Where can we find Baller Dave?
Baller Dave might be making an appearance on the Monday Night Raw with Jeranism. I'm not sure when. And Baller Dave, this is going to be a surprise to you, does endorse the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It is quite amazing. Available on Google Play and Apple App Store.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You can find me at Woketown on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll be at Skyfall in October. I'll be at the Flat Earth International Conference with Dave in November. And until the next podcast, we will see you guys soon.
Tavern in Plymouth, our adventure awaits. To my wife I bid farewell as she waved from our gate. With the voyage at sea, destiny I have date for 8 pieces of silver. I boarded my fate. With 2 years of provisions, from sauerkraut to nails, 9-ton hogsheads of rum and Caspian full of ale. We made ship-shape the rigging from crow's nest to keel, and with the weather eye open, Captain Cook set sail. Hang on to the winds and head out to sea. Beyond the horizon, the ends of the earth beckon we. In 3 years of discovering new lands for the crown, 200,000 leagues of boat tape sailed around on a mission for the mythical southern continent. death beneath us scrapes away those drowns sunken men. Will our fate be to sink here or return home to see you again? In the fog and much darkness of a black midnight sun, our two ships separated, though we fired sounding guns. Time and tide wait for no man, to the end we have come.